Okay, we are at the Veterans Affairs Medical Center. My name is Carlton Cartwright. I'm with an organization called the Children's Coalition Incorporated, and we're here today interviewing a young lady by the name of
Casandra Williams.
Okay, Cassandra, and let's see. What is your birthday?
April 26, 1968.
Can I get you to move a little closer?
Sure, absolutely. Is that good?
Yeah, it's fine. Where were you born?
I was born originally in a house in Hope Sound, but Stewart, Martin Memorial Hospital.
Stewart?
Stewart, Florida.
Okay, all right. But you lived in Hope Sound?
Hope Sound.
Hope, H-O-B-E?
H-O-B-E.
That's where you grew up?
That's where I grew up.
Okay, all right.
I grew up there until I was about 5. Yeah.
And what is your
4.
What is your current address?
It's 4168. It's in West Palm Beach.
Okay.
Yes, Florida.
4168?
Napoli Lake Drive.
Napoli or Napoli? N. Got Napoli Lake Drive?
Yes.
And what city is that in?
West Palm Beach.
Gotcha.
Yes.
All right. And let's see now. What branch of the service were you in?
USA Army.
Okay. All right. And cool. Were you drafted or did you enlist?
I enlisted. I enlisted.
And why did you join? Why did you pick that branch?
You know, originally it's like, I don't know if I was walking the pattern of my father because he was in the military, Vietnam War. And I actually wanted to go attend college. And I got accepted into Savannah State and was going on my dad's GI Bill. And you have to be 100%. He has to be 100%, and they changed it to 70%. So I had to change my career direction and decided to go into the military.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Why did you pick that branch, the Army?
I think because of my father.
Okay.
I think because of my father.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Okeydoke. Now let's see. What was your rank when you separated?
Specialist E4.
And so you signed on in Savannah? Where did you sign up?
Actually, I went to the MEP station in Miami, and from there went to Carolina for my basic training.
How long? Where in Carolina? Fort Bragg?
Is it Fort Bragg? Is it Fort Bragg? Fort Benning? Is it Fort Bragg?
Not sure.
It's Fort Bragg. I'm so kind of like, you know, popping these questions out at me. I didn't have anything written down. So.
That's okay.
Yeah.
That's all right. Just do the best you can. It's no problem.
Yeah.
Well, these are some preliminary questions.
Yes.
How long was basic training?
8 weeks.
And how did you get through that?
I was good. I was determined. Determined. I was one of those determined ones. Wanted to, prevail.
What were your instructors like?
They were hard. They were all males, and I can remember they were extremely, difficult.
Okay. All right. So how did you get through it?
With the buddy system, you know, you have to have a buddy system. You know, you have to encourage one another. So it's encouragement, you know, determination, and knowing that you can do it. So I got through with a person alongside of me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Made friends.
We had to.
Good. Good. Okay. So after the 8 weeks in basic training, where'd you go?
Fort Lee, Virginia, for my advanced training in the my job description, which is a MOS, which is 76 Papa, and that is Material Control and Accounting Specialist.
Okay.
And what that entails, and that was for another, I think, 8 weeks there in Fort Lee, Virginia. And from there I went to Fort Stewart, Georgia. And that's my permanent duty station.
Okay.
Fort Stewart, Georgia.
Right.
And being there, that material control and accountant specialist, that's when you start working with DSUs, direct support units, infantry units, and what they do is they come to us with stock numbers, and we order their product, and the product comes to the warehouse, and we distribute the product in bins, and they come in, they sign off to receive.
Right.
Shipping and receiving, basically. So I did that there for 3 years there until we went to Desert Storm.
Right.
In 90.
1990, huh?
Yes. August of 1990.
Okay. So that was your next duty station? Where were you? You in Fort Lee, Virginia, correct?
Yeah, Fort Lee, Virginia. Well, we actually had rotation, which is called NTC rotation, which is you're in training for wartime if there is, and not expecting it to be. So we did have field training. We had rotation of going to California, Fort Ord, California, in the desert, and that's where we got our training through. It's like every quarter. You have to do your PT test, your physical fitness test, make sure that you meet the requirements.
Right.
And your fitness. And if you're capable, you go into the next phase to get promoted and all that.
Okay. So you rotated back and forth from Fort Lee to California, Fort Ord?
No, actually, Fort Lee was just a basic. It's like training for your MOS.
Okay.
So your duty station is Fort Lee, Virginia. Fort Lee, Virginia. Fort Stewart, Georgia is my duty station, and that's why I did my tour.
Right.
I didn't want to go overseas. I was not familiar with overseas, so I want to stay stateside.
Oh, okay.
So being stateside actually kept me at bay closer to family that was in Florida. So and rotation is field exercises. You can do it in garrison, which is local, or you can do it over, the different locations like California. So these places are important to do. Because it keeps you aligned with firing your weapon. You have to have these training. You have to keep up with your skills.
Combat readiness,
yes,
so to speak?
Yes.
Okay, so how long were you at that permanent duty station?
4 years.
4 years.
With that company, 4 years.
What year did you go into service?
88.
What year did you get out?
92. 1992.
Okay, so you did 4 years. Okay, so you were stationed in the same place those 4 years?
Yes.
Tell me all the different places you traveled.
Didn't really travel. Didn't want to.
Okay.
I just wanted to go and do my time for my education, to get the GI Bill and serve my time, be committed, do what I'm supposed to do, and get out and be, less threatening to society and go to school. That's what it was.
Did you use your GI Bill?
I did. I went to college.
While you were in the service or afterwards?
I actually, in college, no, not in the service. When I got out of the military, I went to Indian River State College, and then I transferred to South College, which is now South College University.
Right.
And then I transferred from that to FAMU and the physical therapy program, but they changed the program that you have to have a bachelor's, and then you apply to the program and get your master's. So when I applied, I was accepted into the program, but they changed it as I was en route to.
Right.
So actually, I just got an associate degree, and that was that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you did use your GI Bill. Are you going to continue?
I am. I have, as we're speaking of right now, I have Chapter 31. So Chapter 31 is basically service connected. I have post-traumatic stress disorder from being overseas to Saudi Arabia. Occurrences that happen over there, dealing with it in reality right now is it's you take the good with the bad. So along with that, a lot of resources in the last 3 years that's helping me cope with the condition that I have, and one of the great benefits of it is having Chapter 31, which is a program which allows me to continue on with my education and pays 4 years.
Good. I want to go back to how did you wind up in Saudi Arabia? Is that after?
It was. I went to there in '90.
Were you still in the?
We was in Saudi Arabia, Dhahran, and went to Kuwait when it was the oil.
So you deployed there?
Yes, we did.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
And I actually did not expect it. Didn't know anything. I was young. I was 19. So I really was kind of bewildered, if you would say. And so we deployed over there with weapon and all. TA-50 and LCU, and we wasn't prepared. I don't think so, because we didn't go with warm gear. When we got there, it was extremely hot, and then it was extremely cold. It was 100 and something degrees hot, and then it was so cold that you didn't have that warmth.
At night?
Yeah. So and you're just doing stand to, you're up, you're fatigued, you're doing a lot of stuff that you don't normally, you can't relate to, because this is something new. There's not instructions to it, you know. You just go along with what they tell you.
Good news. So it was difficult acclimating to the weather change? That's like over a 24-hour period though, right?
Oh no, it was not just that. You're fatigued. You have to, you have to have the tenacity to move forward when they tell you to, and listen to them. You are so fatigued that you don't have much sleep. You have like maybe 3 or 4 hours of sleep, if that. You're still doing stand to, which is you're on guard, and plus you're doing your job description over there, which is ordering parts for different support units, which is the Armory, your infantry, and your direct support units. And with all of that, you're processing a diskette on a floppy disk. All that information is sent to a higher DSU, and then it comes, all the product comes to us and you distribute it. So you're not really getting any sleep, because these products are what the infantry units need. Right. It can be a firing pin, it could be a tire, it can be boats that they need. We're the main DSU for the infantry units, so that they can continue on with their, you know, battle on the battlefield.
Right.
Yeah. So you don't know that you're fatigued until someone tells you you're fatigued, when you're waking up and you're screaming in your sleep. So a lot, just like I said, you're not being, it's not a description of how to, you just listen to what you're supposed to do.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
How long were you there?
Almost a year. Almost a year, from August until the following year. I left, to be honest with you, that memory loss. I just kind of like didn't want to go back, and I still don't even calculate it. I don't calculate how long I've been over there. I don't calculate. I just know, and I lost touch of military. And how to and what to. I just lost a sense of being in the military, because it's just like my past. It's something that you forget until someone brings it to your attention, and and when they bring it to your attention, more or less, you kind of like, I don't remember that, but they remember it, and it's something that you're so fatigued, you don't know if they're telling the truth or lying, or you know. So.
Were you wounded?
You know, I wasn't wounded. I mean, I had injuries that were sustained, but I wasn't wounded by way of a grenade or
ordnance.
Or yeah. So.
But PTSD.
Yeah.
Were there a lot of casualties in your unit?
Specifics. Casualty as far as wounded, as far as the grenades and stuff. No. Weapon. No. Bullet. No. Fatigue. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I take it your fellow soldiers experienced a lot of this also?
Oh yeah, but we had to hold each other up because one falls short of being fatigued, the other one was stronger, and it battles back and forth.
Right.
You know.
Constantly trying to find some balance.
You have to.
And survival.
Yes.
Okay, so you were there for a year. At the end of that tour, what did you do?
We came back safely, thank God. We got off the plane in Savannah. And I vowed, when I hit the solid ground, I'm getting out. I'm not the realist.
Okay.
There was a fear of the unknown, of what if I were to go back, not knowing what the states and the country had, and you know. So I got out and. I ETS out. Okay. I served my time.
No.
And I didn't re-enlist.
Huh?
I didn't re-enlist.
I got you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. R&R, when you got leave, what'd you do? When leave time came?
Leave while I was in the military?
Yes.
Well, you know the interesting thing about that, when I was on leave, you know, I would leave every weekend to go to Florida.
Okay.
You know, and because I was homesick, not wanting to be, you know, on post. And my dad, as a matter of fact, I remember it was 90. It was after we got back from Desert a Storm. And I came to, when I took leave after coming from there, I saw my dad, and just like I said, he was a casualty in the Vietnam War.
He was a what?
He was in the Vietnam War.
Okay, casualty.
And I saw him that Saturday. I drove back to Fort Stewart, Georgia. I got a Red Cross message that someone had passed away. I didn't know something was wrong. I didn't know who it was.
Right.
My dad had passed away, and he had a heart attack. And so all in all, it's like, wow, he seen me come back, but he passed away. Well, I still was in the military, but that was it. Yeah.
Okay. How did you get along with your peers and your fellow peers and officers?
Quite interesting. I like that. I had a name. I had a nickname in the military.
Okay.
And just like I said, I had a tenacity. I was the go-getter. I was the doer, and I can see things and let's do it. I don't care if I was ranked E2, E3. I just knew. I just had it. And my voice would pierce in the bay, and they used to call me Squeaky. One sergeant, he called me Squeaky, and that name just lasts for the whole 4 years. Even people don't know me. They don't even know my last name. They don't know my first name. They don't know what rank. Even officers would call me Squeaky. I mean, I had, and to this day, I had a reunion with some of my peers, and it shows you how much love you have, and they still call me Squeaky.
Right.
I'm like, oh, yeah, that's good stuff. So, got along with them quite well.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. Good. That's good news. Okeydoke. Let's see. So you came out, when you got out of the service, what'd you do?
I had no direction. I had no direction, didn't know what, didn't know what to do. We can get, by us not having a job, you can get unemployment, so that's what I did. And then I was searching, I went to school, but I was working at different odd jobs. Went into the nursing field as a CNA, certified nursing assistant. Worked as a rehab technician and then the physical therapist.
Right.
Everything it seemed like, and it was for years, circulated around that. And then I just took a hold and just said, you know what, I want to continue with my education. So I was actually waiting tables, working as a CNA, plus going to college. And then I transferred to FAMU, and yeah. And then when I left FAMU, I came back to, I got that associates, I came back to West Palm, and I lived there, and I met my son's father.
Right.
And for 9 years. And had my son in 2005.
Okay.
And on June the 8th, now he's 7. So we had our son, and then life just continued to carry on, and I started to work in a beauty field doing nails for 9 years. So I was in and out of what it is that I want to do. I want to try a lot of different things just to see if I could, and I was good at it.
Right.
And I, stuck with that for about 9 years. So I didn't just get in and get out. I stuck with it just to see if it was something better. Yeah. And thereafter, 3 years ago, something hit me. My son, father, and I, we split up, and my son and I, you went separate ways, and so it was a good thing, because then I started to learn who I was, because I was doing everything for everybody else. That the direction was placed on me, and if I can't benefit and be good for myself, I can't be good for my son.
Right.
So I started, just growing and understanding and becoming more responsible, just 3 years ago, after all of that, 2 years ago, 3.5 years ago, I became, so to speak, homeless.
Yeah.
And that took me into a state of, you have so much pride, you don't want to ask anyone for anything. You try to do everything man's way, and I started depending on God and just trusting and believing that, He's my source of, anything that I need. So I kind of reached out to veteran resources that they had, which I've never done before. I never knew what I had underneath my belt. And they helped me with HUD-VASH. They helped me with my post-traumatic stress.
What is HUD-VASH?
HUD-VASH is actually, it's a housing for homeless veterans.
Right.
And it actually helps when you don't, especially when you're a woman and have a child, it helps you to have stability.
Stability in your life,
yeah, depending on your income, which I didn't have any. So now, things are looking up, because it's like I was by myself, no help, and it was getting unbearable. So when I stopped reaching out and stopped having pride, everything started working out. and I had so much resources that I didn't know what I had. So
you didn't know what you had earned.
I didn't know what I earned. Yes, and the resources that helps me with dealing and adapting and knowing that I'm not the only one out there with having a stressor and having it being taken care of.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. So you came out, you dealt with these problems, and where did your career go after that?
Yeah.
I know it went somewhere because you're here now.
Yeah, that's what it is, because I'm in a program right now. The program is CWT, which is compensated work therapy.
Okay.
And transitional work therapy, and it helps because it helps with your career goals. It helps with your job performance. You put if you want, it's what you want.
Okay.
And if you have the drive and you have the vision and you want it, you go for it. And I have all of that and I want it. So I'm going through all the steps that I need to make sure that this is going to be the right path. It's not just for me, it's for my son as well.
Right.
So I know whatever I get, I'm going to keep it.
Okay.
So, put in an application here, because the CWT program for me is going to be over in January. You put the application in to the jobs, and then you move from there. You move forward. And so it's just a process of waiting and seeing.
Gotcha. Okay, so now throughout your service career, did you have all the supplies you needed?
While I was, it's kind of difficult to ask that, because when I was at Fort Stewart, Georgia, I never asked for anything. I just thought you make your money and you pay your bills and that's that. I didn't have bills, so money was just kind of like whatever,
But you had everything.
Responsibility. So yes, although when I was at Fort Saudi Arabia, Dhahran, and Kuwait,
right,
you don't get. You eat MREs, and I have to go take you back there. I didn't eat chicken. I didn't eat pork. So I would give around Christmas time when we were there, Thanksgiving time, I gave chicken away. I gave that stuff away. My feel for food was MREs. MREs are dehydrated food packages. And my favorite was spaghetti. And I would eat that and drink a lot of water. And the water was so hot, you had to dig a hole, pour water in it, wrap the container, the bottle, with a wet, torn t-shirt, put it in a hole underneath cool tarp or something, and hopefully the water is cool enough for you to drink, but it wasn't as cool. It's better than being 100 and something degrees hot.
Right.
So it's more or less bearable because the ice melt,
on the spot.
quickly, yes.
Yes.
So we dealt with what we had at that time because we didn't have showers. We had to build, 5-gallon cans, you pour it in there, and you just pull the string. It's just like MASH.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Yes.
I got you. All right. So I'm going to take it for granted that you felt a great deal of pressure and stress throughout your service career. Okay. How did you entertain yourself?
We actually, over there, we had competition. We had like what do you call this nowadays? We had different entertainment. We would sing. So I sung with a couple of girls, and it was our entertainment. So we had a competition. So it was the thing to do. We look forward to that. It seems like on the weekend.
Right.
And just I drew. So I would draw a picture of my nephew on a tricycle. So that was my comfort zone.
Okay.
Yeah. So you just find what is your interest.
Right.
And sometimes I was just wanting to be by myself because it was just safe, you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Let's see. Okay. So yeah, I just have a few more questions.
Okay.
First, did you join any veterans organizations?
VFW,
Okay. All right.
Veterans of War.
Right. Have you been to any reunions?
No, except for the ones that we, a couple of soldiers that was in my support unit, I met with them.
Okay.
Actually last year. So I mean, it wasn't a reunion that the military had for us, but it was a reunion that someone took it upon themselves to say, you know what, we need to get together. We hadn't seen each other in 20 years, and that's what happened.
Okay.
And that was good. It was healthy, and they brought their spouses, and it was good stuff.
Right. Okay. Just a few more questions. Did your military experience influence your thinking about war or about the military in general?
Reword that for me. Reword it.
Reword it? Let me give you the other part of the question, then I'll go back if you want me to. How did your service and experiences affect your life?
Wow. I suppressed a lot. I was angry. Wow. Bring back some memories. And I didn't want to be, I closed myself off from a lot of people. Family, friends. So, it has to be something there because I just didn't want to be reminded. If someone wanted to interview me, this is the first interview I ever had.
Okay.
My niece wanted to interview me about veterans that was in the military, and I said I don't think that would be I would be a good candidate.
Okay.
Right now, so and it's good that I'm opening up because I know I'm in a different place in my life that I can talk about it and it's not going to hurt me. You know, it's not going to come out and attack me. So it feels good. But I didn't come from a war zone family. I didn't come from a militant, so a lot had something to do with their structure, being structured, being told what to do, and becoming a civilian all over again. I just wasn't gonna have anybody tell me what to do. Mm-hmm. I just didn't want that structure in my life, and then I became angry, upset, quick-tempered. I felt depressed a lot. Mm-hmm. And then I suppressed myself with anxiety and just didn't want to be bothered. So I can sit for hours in a room or go to a park and I'm fine. But as I'm growing and learning what this condition is, now I get it, I understand it, and it's like I wouldn't open up to anyone or tell them any story,
right.
And until there was someone who had the same situation, so to speak. And if it wasn't for the women's group for post-traumatic stress disorder,
right.
I don't think that I would be talking to you today.
Right.
Yeah. So it impacted me a lot that I didn't know, mm-hmm. because everything was suppressed. I forgot a lot. I didn't have my uniform. Mm-hmm. I didn't keep anything. I just sent off for my medals, right. that I didn't have, and it was sent to me. And I said, you know what? This would be for my son. Dog tags, ID. I didn't have any of that. It's sort of like a lost soul. You know, the only thing I had was the DD Form 214, and that's all I needed.
What did you get medals for?
You know, you have to look at my DD Form 214.
Okay.
Yeah, because it was medal for overseas, medal for your sharpshooter, medals for a lot of medals for being overseas.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But you received awards and citations and medals?
Yes.
Okay. That's fine. That's fine. Okay, well, is there anything you feel like you left out at the moment?
No.
Anything else that you feel comfortable talking about?
No.
That's fine. That's fine. I want to thank you for your service.
Thank you very much.
And I want to thank you for the interview also. Okay?
Yeah.
And you will be getting a copy. I have a copy for you next week.
Thank you.
All right?
Thank you.